This is the head of one of the most notorious serial killers in history. Can you guess who it belongs to?
Check it out.
Hello everyone, I am here in Wisconsin Dells at the Ripley's Believe It or Not Auditorium, and I am here with, frankly, the creepiest and most unnerving object I've ever seen. This is the mummified head of the vampire of Dusseldorf himself, Peter Kürten. Peter Kürten was practically raised to be a serial killer. He grew up with an extremely violent father, and by the age of 9, killed his first 2 victims, 2 of his friends, which he drowned in a river. It was around this time that his violence also extended to animals, which is where he first realized that he had an affinity for blood. By the time he was 16, he ran away from home and started serving jail time on and off for lesser crimes. It was his time in jail and specifically solitary confinement which solidified his hatred of society. After getting out of jail, he got married and lived a pretty normal life for a few years. This normalcy was short-lived, however, as at the age of 40, he moved to Dusseldorf and started his biggest killing spree yet. Eventually, police realized that he was drinking the blood of his victims, thus naming him the Vampire of Dusseldorf. Throughout all of his terrible crimes, Kürten still maintained an affinity for his wife. He realized that he would be caught soon and confessed everything to her, in hopes that if she turned him in, she would get enough reward money to be taken care of for the rest of her life. In May of 1930, she turned Kürten over to the authorities just as he had told her to. He was then arrested, convicted, and sentenced to 9 life sentences. He was executed by guillotine in 1931. Not even on his deathbed did his violent tendencies stop, as his last words were reportedly, "Tell me, after my head is chopped off, will I still be able to hear, at least for a moment, the sound of my own blood gushing from the stump of my neck? That would be the pleasure to end all pleasures." So, why did scientists dissect his head? Well, similar to the Parisian criminal we talked about in our Criminal Minds video, scientists wanted to see if there was anything physically out of the ordinary about the way his brain was structured compared to someone who wasn't a totally insane murderer. Their studies came up empty. I have to be so real with you guys. I've seen some pretty unusual stuff with Ripley's, but nothing is coming close to this. To know that I'm so close to the head of someone who did all these terrible crimes is so eerie. I've also heard that his spirit hangs around his head and around the building, which adds another layer of paranoia for me. Also, we have the same birthday. Shout out to Geminis. But the vibes are bad. I do not like it. So I'm gonna get out of here so I don't have to be near this anymore. Would you hold a potentially haunted serial killer's head? Let me know my probability of being haunted in the comments, and I'll see you next time.